Modern dating is pathetic. Expectations are too high, standards too low. Above average men telling below average men how to get multiple women while also saying all women are 3-0 foes. And then being a 3-0 foe is too normalized, etc. Wait, so you said expectations are too high, standards too low. For men, for women, for both? What? Care to expand and elaborate?
Oh, me or?
Yes, girl.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. So, can you just restate my point?
The fuck are you doing?
Sorry, I was thinking about how I want to eat a banana.
Expectations.
Not in a sexual way.
What a traditional thing to say.
So no, I just when I do shows or live streams, I like.
Haram!
Eat
No.
bananas?
Yes.
Okay.
on with
Modern
your
dating is
point.
pathetic. Expectations are too high and standards too low. Above average men telling below average men how to get multiple women while also saying
Yes.
all women are 3-0 foes. Being a 3-0 foe is normalized. Let's start with expectations are too high and standards too low. For men, for women, for both. Okay.
So I think
So men's expectations are too high. How?
yes, men have expectations that women are going to be virgins and not have exes and not be tarnished and be perfect, and they themselves may not work on this. Isn't just I think generalized.
Sure.
When they themselves may not take care of themselves, they may want a stay-at-home wife but not be financially or mentally able to even
That's
sustain
fair.
that.
Yep. You should, if you want a stay-at-home wife, you should probably be able to provide for it.
Yep.
Agree there.
And then where I said the above average men telling below average men how to get women, you see a lot of shows, including yours, where you're stating to ideally below average men who are looking up to you for advice.
What evidence do you have that the men who are watching the show are below average?
Not this show in particular, but a lot of men that watch dating shows or podcasts
How would
about
you know?
dating.
Like, they may very
Because
well be below average, but how would you know?
I've interacted with the audiences of multiple.
You've interacted with whatever viewers.
I said not this podcast specifically, but
I don't know how you would
I don't
know
know
they're
how
below
She's
average.
talking about
but
like
okay.
pickup channels and shit like that, right?
yeah, like pickup channels
Yeah.
and all that. They watch these above average men.
This is a whole different scenario, though, Mel. Like, this is people tune into the Whatever podcast, not really for dating advice. They're looking for the.
Yeah, I don't really give dating advice.
They're really actually looking
Occasionally.
for kind of the interpersonal exchange that people are having, the men and women are having, so that they can understand the different worldviews and purviews.
I wasn't saying to the Whatever podcast.
And I just want to say,
specifically.
all my patrons and supporters and all the TTS, those guys are above average.
Yeah. Well,
For sure.
So I was not
Join the club.
And in my message, I did not state the Whatever podcast specifically. I just think
Sure.
there's a lot of internet outlets of above average men, using Andrew Tate as an example, where they preach to men who probably aren't above average, and they tell these men to get these above average women and how to get these above average women. And it just turns into a cycle of the men being insecure because they won't amount to that, and then lowering their standards below what
Right.
they should, just out of desperation and being lonely. And then it cycles back to women not being able to find good quality men, lowering their standards. Like Alexis was saying before, it's just a cycle of men and women not dating to their standards.
Well, a couple things there. So, first off, below average men can't get multiple women. Below average men can't even get below average women because of the chart. I don't know if you're able to pull it back up, Nick. Because of basically the rampant hypergamy that's going on today. Did you close it out?
But that's why a lot of times,
So this is the women on the right, men on the left, who men would happily partner with, who women would happily partner with. Look, that's not, of course, below average people end up with below average people, but there's a decent cohort of men who are getting absolutely zeroed out of the dating marketplace. But so it's not clear to me if below average men are even interested in getting multiple women. I think a lot of them would be happy with just a girlfriend who's on his level, in his league, and just having a monogamous relationship. I think that's the case for most men.
I do agree with that. I just find that a lot of times their expectations are higher than their own like
Okay.
rankings.
Well, I agree
it's
with
both,
you.
I think it's both ways.
I agree with you that there are other people out there in the content creation space who are saying, well, you should have multiple women and da 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 da. And like the reality is, most men are going to be,
That's the whole like Riz
Are not-
culture, isn't it?
Yeah, like
most men are not going to be able to maneuver, like, are not going to be able to have that kind of arrangement with getting multiple women. And I think a lot of them don't want to. So